Los Angeles International Hospital in Gwen's room. Gwen's lying in bed thinking. Just as Eric came in and went and sat by her bedside, and Gwen saw him. You were amazing as my unexpected midwife, the oi. I thought I was a good midwife to my wife. Ironic on what she said match. I do what I can. And as Hannah and Ryan came and knocked on the door, and Gwen and Eric saw them, we heard that we're grandparents again. Meanwhile, at the Leaving Book Cafe in the office, CJ's sitting at the table on his laptop typing. Just as Tamara came in, and CJ saw and closed his laptop, just as she came to where he is. Let me guess, you're planning a surprise. That is totally sweet. Actually, and as CJ got up and faced her, I'm kind of studying for my last year of school. Have you thought about college afterwards, since you're inspired to do such? Meanwhile, at the Grand Plaza Hotel in Rachel and Scott's suite, Emily and Kyle came in, followed by the bellman who came in and brought the suitcase and placed it on the floor. Just as Kyle came to where the bellman is and tipped him $100, which he saw. Nice. Let me know if you need anything. And as the man turned and went and left the room with Kyle coming to close the door. And as he turned and went to where his wife is, who's at the table viewing the romantic dinner that was left. I cannot believe Rachel gave you. She wanted romantic dinner and she didn't want all this to go to waste. So she in turn gave it to us. Why yes. Besides, with me grandparents watching Miko's while he's on holiday from school, I thought we could need some time alone between you and I. Meanwhile, at the Grand Baptist Church in the kitchen, Jessica is drinking her cup of coffee. And as she has flashbacks of her hugging Matt. And as the flashback ends, get a grip. You can't be falling for a young man just because he's in love with your twin, can you? And as Chris came in, and she turned and saw him. You said you wanted to talk, yeah? So what is it? Why have you been blanking at my calls? I wanted you to see my wife. I had to clear me head. Besides, I didn't want to think your wife would want to see the woman's twin who kidnapped her. You don't know that I can't chance that, can I? Look, I know you put this whole thing together and all, so we just want to thank you for everything you've done. Meanwhile, in the recreation room, Scott and Will are surprised by Rachel's arrival. You know what? I'm just gonna let your husband fill you in. And as Will went and left the recreation room, while Rachel is facing Scott. How do you know I was here? Why the hell have you been blanking my calls and texts? And what do you mean you want Will to tell Erin? We were just talking. You better think real hard on what lie you're about to sell. Honey, I would never lie to you. I just been trying to adjust my life back to normal now that I'm alive and all. Meanwhile, in the sanctuary at Tina's funeral, everyone is surprised by Janet and Vanessa's announcement, and as Annie got up and went and stand by her husband Aaron. How dare you come here with some attention-seeking action? Have you have no remorse? Really? Is that what you're sticking with? Enough! What do you mean a secret that involves my wife? You know, you would think you would have the guts to come forward, but I guess not. Oi! And as Karen got up and faced him, you need to do one. My sister's wake's taking place. As if you gave a damn about her at all. And as Bradley also got up and faced him. Can you two just get on with what you're about to say? And as Gloria and Justin also came in. Yeah, That's exactly what I want to know. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in Gwen's room, Gwen and Eric are surprised by Hannah and Ryan's arrival. And as they both came in, the doctor's attending to her as we speak. Her? Yeah, congratulations. You two lot now have a granddaughter. Well, at least another one. Have you two decided to name her yet? We couldn't due to what happened. Yeah, your sister Phyllis in on the phone. I still don't get to why. Believe me, you probably don't want to know. Have you met us? Well, believe it or not, your sister Helen was the one who kidnapped us. Just so, Eric. Okay, what are you two not telling us? Meanwhile, at the Leaving Book Cafe in the office, Tamara and CJ are talking. What brought that on? I'm sorry. I'm just worried that things will change between us wrong. I'm just trying to sort out my future and all. Well, I guess I got overwhelmed that I was gonna lose you. Guess again, I'm going nowhere. What about the Egyptian shadow killer? What about it? That thing won't touch us with the guards falling about. Look, why don't we go on one more holiday before the school start? What do you say about that? Meanwhile, at the Grand Plaza Hotel in Rachel and Scott's suite in the living room, Emily and Kyle are eating the dinner while talking. By the way, thank you for that unexpected holiday trip. I really needed that after what just happened. Yeah, the news saying it wasn't an accident. Before you say it, it wasn't. I know it wasn't the Egyptian shadow killer. I was thinking more of the lines of the last-ditch attack that's been happening. That's what I was aiming for. Also, while we're at it, where were you during the whole time my life was at risk? And as Kyle has a flashback outside the Hollywood Avalon Palace of him and Becca kissing. And as they pull back, look, Rebecca, I can't be here. Why? Because of her? She's my wife. Yeah, for now. No, forever. So you need to accept that and get over yourself. And as the flashback ends, I had a call from my mother, which took longer than expected. Overall, I'm sorry. I wish I was there to get you through. Why don't we take this somewhere a little bit more intimate? Now you're speaking my language. And as Emily got up, followed by Kyle, and as they in turn went into the bedroom. Meanwhile, at the Grand Baptist Church in the kitchen, Jessica and Chris are talking. Look, I don't want you to think that I'm avoiding you like the plague. After offering you lot some moral support, I get it. But I can't help but notice the difference Casey stated on how she felt. And I kind of understand coming from where she is. I mean, imagine seeing a twin version of the person who is vindictive. My family just needs some time to adjust to it. I'm really not holding me breath there. Look, you need to get back to your wife, and I should be out there with your son. Then let's go. And as Jessica and Chris went, I left the room. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Will went in and head to the fridge and opened it and got himself a bottle of juice. And as he closed it, just as Rebecca came in and Will turned and saw her. What are you doing here? And what's that? And as Will noticed, Becca is holding her folder. Oh, this is the proof of what Annie and Scott love affair. And as Will went and got the folder from Becca and began opening it and saw everything. Yeah, your ex-wife Jan and Vanessa filled me in, with Jan finding out first. I'll be damned. So she was right about them lot. Of course I am. And as Jennifer came in, and Will noticed her along with Becca. Rachel and Aaron deserve to know the truth. And right better than today. I don't get it. And as Will closed the folder and looked at Becca, who saw, what's in it for you? Nothing. Other than seeing the justice being served. So, are you ready? Let's go do this. You let go. I have some I need to sort. And as Becca and Will went and left the kitchen. Meanwhile, in the recreation room, Rachel and Scott are talking. Look, I know I've been kind of a crazy cow for asking her husband to spend more quality time with her. You said you had a room, yeah? Yeah, I did, had one. The thing is, one reunion wasn't good enough. Do you have any idea of how much I had to go through, including the trial of the century of Frank and Mimi without you by my side? And I'm sorry for that. And as Scott came to where Rachel is and in turn hugged her. And as she held him, and as they pulled back, I'll tell you what, after the send-off here, why don't I get us a room and we can continue where we left off? Sounds like a plan? Sounds like a plan to me. Now let's head there and give our respects to Tina. And as Rachel head out, but Scott got her hand just as she turned and faced him in time for him to begin kissing her. Meanwhile, in the sanctuary at Tina's funeral, everyone, including Gloria and Justin, is listening to Jan and Vanessa. I received word that my sister Annie has been having an affair. What do you mean by that? It means they've been sleeping together for the peers for months. And those twins she gave birth, it's proof. Oh my God. I don't believe this. Aaron, don't listen to what they said. I don't have to when they're all lies. Sounds familiar, right, Vanessa? This is nothing like that. Really? With the pair of you make that stupid bet that you could get me to fall in love with you to ease your obsession with math and me being the idiot to fall for it. Well, not this time. Now, excuse us. We have a send-off that we're attending right now. So have some decency and respect and do one. We're not lying. Annie and Scott are the ones who've been deceiving you lot. That's why they haven't said anything. You better have a good explanation to what you're accusing my husband of. And as everyone saw, Rachel and Scott came in, having heard everything. Rachel, let's get out of here. No! You ain't going anywhere. And as Becca and Will also came in the sanctuary and they all saw. You two lot had your chance to come clean. And now, I'm afraid it's too late. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in Gwen's room, Hannah, Ryan, Gwen, and Eric are talking. Are you kidding me? Why the hell would my sister would kidnap you and stash you lot in our basement? Helen probably suspected that Eric and I know about Annie and Scott. What about them? My wife told me a theory about them having an affair after seeing them close a lot lately. Only it's not a theory. To sum things up in results, I've given birth in a supply closet in your home. No offense, you're fine, Gwen. After all the services you provided, I'm glad we were at some service that you were at our house. We would even know we were there if it wasn't for my sister Wilma or her fiancé. Yes, Wilma is quite a smart woman, which takes after her mother. And as Ryan looked at his wife, who saw, it was nothing, honey. Come on, give yourself some credit here. Between you and I think we raised an incredible, strong family. Meanwhile, at the Leaving Book Cafe in the office, Tamara and CJ are talking. I would love that more than anything in this world, as long as I have you in it, and you will. And thank you for believing me when I was watching Katie. Well, I'm glad she's situated in Culver City. Now, where do you want us to venture? Why don't you pick? Because I happen to know a guy who happens to have their own jet. Nice. And on that note, what about London, as in I know, the UK? I'm game if you are. Cool. And as CJ went and locked the door, which Tamara saw. Oi, what are you playing at? And as CJ turned and head back to where Tamara is and arrived. Why don't I show you what to expect when we land in the UK? Oh, show me indeed. And as they begin kissing each other, just as CJ got Tamara on the floor. Meanwhile, at the Grand Plaza Hotel in Rachel and Scott's suite in the bathroom, Emily and Kyle are in the bathtub covered with bathwater as they making out. And as they pull away. Dude, this is so amazing. I cannot believe Scott passed this up. I just want to say, I do not for 1 second ever take you for granted. Not at all. Look, I know we haven't been targeted by the Egyptian shadow killer yet. Oi, I'm not letting anything happen to you. I just wish this madness would be over already, but now I just want to focus on us making. Are you saying that? Yeah, I am. I want us to try for another baby. That's if you're ready. We can do that. And as Kyle leaned forward and began kissing Emily, just as she put her arms around Kyle. Meanwhile, at the Grand Baptist Church in the kitchen, Jennifer is thinking, if my theory is true, then I have managed to save my ex-boyfriend from a deceitful cow. And now, I'm gunning for Matt next for walking out on me and our baby. Meanwhile, in the sanctuary, as people look at Jan, Vanessa, Gloria, Justin, Rachel, Scott, Annie, and Aaron, who are surprised by Becca and Rose's arrival. Mate, what's going on? Not to worry, mate. You're about to find out. Clever move, Vanessa, to get his best mate on this. I'm not in on anything. But when my ex-wife told me about you and Scott, I couldn't believe until I heard them not too long ago. So that's what I heard when I just walked in. Seriously? You're gonna believe this, honey? Don't honey me. My sister wouldn't lie to me in this matter. Now wouldn't she? Rachel, you've known me for a while. This is the real deal. Better yet, here's some proof of what Will and I discovered. You see, even though we found out this information this morning, we managed to dig all of this. And as Rebecca came and gave Aaron the folder, which he got, and is he about to open, but Annie stopped him. Aaron, please, don't open that letter. I believe that's his call. Why don't you back the hell off, Rebecca? Enough! Meanwhile, Rachel head to Rebecca, Annie, and Aaron is, but Scott got her arm. Rachel, let's just get out of here. Why don't you let me go? And as Rachel let go and head to where Rebecca, Aaron, and Annie is. And arrived, and as Aaron opened the letter, with Rachel standing beside him, and as they both saw a picture of a shirtless Scott making love to Annie on one side, and on the other side, is revealed to be DNA results of Annie and Scott being Willow and Brenda's father. And as Aaron realizes it's the twin daughters, and as he looked at Annie, who saw him, "How could you do this to me?"